Art Studio. In today's project, we are going to take an ordinary soap dispenser and we're going to make it pretty with a band of pewter, or wrapping a band of pewter around it. So there's two things I want to mention about this project. Earlier this year, I've asked my newsletter subscribers what is things that they would like to see in the videos and gifts, and how can they use pewter within their own home. That is two of the things that was very popular, so I think this one definitely qualifies for that, because you can give it as a gift, and why not use something pretty in your own home as well. The second one I want to mention about this is it's not originally my idea. One of the ladies that's buying quite often through on my website, she purchased a texture plate and then she sent me a photo of what she's done with that, and it was a little soap dispenser that she did this band around with the texture plate. So thank you for that. We are all going to pull from your inspiration. So let's get started and see what we're going to need. We're going to need our soap dispenser, and you can buy any one. You get glass ones, you get the plastic ones, it doesn't really matter, they will all work fine. You're going to need your pewter or metal that is going to wrap around, plus a little bit extra. I'm going to use a texture plate. This is one of the new texture plates that I just got in. And then some painter's tape just to adhere the pewter to the texture plate. And as always, we're going to use our paper stump. We're going to need some Teflontip tools, as well as we might use a stylus. It all depends if we're going to go with a background. I'll decide on my, while we're busy. And we're going to do, you can do patina as well, but I've decided to do just the faux patina, and I'm going to use a black marker for that, as well as some paper towel just to wipe it off. And we're going to need our Sookwang tape to adhere the pewter to our soap dispenser, and then of course our work surfaces. So first we're going to adhere our texture plate to the our pewter, and I've cut my strip a little bit wider than what the actual texture plate is, and the reason for that is just if I decide to make a border around it, I always have that extra to play with. And now it's cute. So make sure that you get it actually in the center, so that you have even on the sides, or more or less even on the sides. And I wonder where I'm going to. The next one, I think I'll just put a strip in here. And I'm sure it should be holding like this. So the next step that we're going to do is, you can either use your roller or your finger, or you can just go straight in with your paper stump, and you can just start rubbing over your texture plate. And immediately you can see you are getting your design. Next step, we're going to come in with our Teflontip tool, and we are going to reline or push the pewter up against the texture plate. So it doesn't really matter, if you first want to do the crosses and then goes to the flower, or if you want to do section by section. I know we all have different ways that we are working, so follow the method that you find works best for you. For me personally, it is usually all over the place and have to come back and double check that I didn't miss half of it. So I'm gonna go all around and come in with my Teflontip tool and really push it up against the texture plate. A paper stump, because the crossover or the crosses, the one actually is higher than the other one or goes over the one, and to accentuate that I just need to really get it down. And I didn't really pay that much attention when I did it the first time. So now I'm just going to come in and I'm going to refine that line with my Teflontip tool. Oops, and there I just went into the line. Where is it? Oh, there we go. So I'm just going over it again with my paper stump just to smooth it out where I've made that little scratch mark. Okay, so also at this point you can go over again if you feel you need to with an even finer Teflontip tool or with your metal stylus. I think, actually, you know what? I think I'm going to go over with my metal stylus. It just gives it that extra little bit of a neatness. This point onwards, you would need to make a decision, because I mean this is not going to go all around the container. So one of two things: you can wrap this around and just have plain at the back, or you can add your line this up and you can just continue your design. I think I'm going to try and line this up. Where is that now? Let's see if I can sort of fit the flower in there that it goes in. Line it up so that you at least have enough space to get to the end, otherwise you have to reline it up again. Okay, it looks like it has gone in there now. So let's tape that down there. Seriously, I think I'm going to struggle off camera here. It does keep on, I think it has to do with my tape that's getting old. Let's see if I can do it this way. And okay, and it's in, and now it is just going to be repeating, and there you can see it is lining up and it is completing the design as you go along. Next, I'm just going to remove the tape so that I can get into this area here to complete that flower, because I wasn't able to do that with the tape around. And I've decided not to go and do that cross, although I did start, just because that is a flower and it ends at a flower, so it will have two flowers together. But again, you know, if you do something, see how the design works out, and then from there you can make the decision where you would like to stop. I'm grabbing my hard surface, and all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to flatten where I've made this little ridge where it was folding over the texture plate. I'm going to do that on both sides. And then I'm going to flatten this one that I've started, which I didn't want it to do. I think I might just use that line as something of a borderline. I will see. So I'm just coming in with my paper stump, and again I'm just flattening around now. And I'm going to do that on the opposite side as well. I think the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this with wax, because I can see potentially if I do decide to do anything else on here, I might press some of this down. While I'm waiting for the wax to melt, I thought I'm going to come in with this texture wheel, and I'm just going to outline this, and I'm going to try and work as close to the lines as what I can, and there might be some times that I'm actually going to miss it or move further away, but this will just give it an sort of extra interest. And you can use any single lane texture wheel for this. Just gives your designs that little bit extra, especially when it is something that you know there's quite a bit of the same thing out there, and then just by doing all these little extra touches you can really make it your own design. And on the side I'm going to do exactly the same. Come in and just roll it. And with things like this as well, the slower you work, the less chance you have of making mistakes. So when you really work fast, that's usually when you make mistakes. There you go, just that extra piece of detail that you have there. And now of course there's so much more that you can do. You can actually raise this more, push it out more for even more high relief. I still think I might come in and do another border there. I just don't know what I want to do. I think I'm leaning towards little bobbles with the ball and cup tools, but I'm first going to do the wax, and then I'll come back and just fold it with wax. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the cup and ball tool, but before I do that, I'm just more or less I will be able to see it from the back as well. So I'm going to mark first where I want to do, but I know what I want is I would like to have a little ball right there. So I'm going to just mark those ones quickly. So that is a smaller, I think this is about the size 2 ball and cup tool if I'm not mistaken. And then what I'm going to do with this, the bigger one, is I'll add some there. I think I should be able to get, yep, I'm going to do that. And then one there, one there. So sort of almost like a scallop effect, just to mimic and to continue on with that. So what I'll do is I'll start off with a few, and then we can see, and then I will do the rest off camera, because it's really like gonna be, you know, watching some paint dry if I have to do all of this. So let's see, so it comes more or less here. And again, when you do work with your ball and cup tool, it's coming down at a 90-degree angle. Wiggle, wiggle, push down, lift up. And especially when you get close to edges, try and keep your edge down. And oh, that one went a little bit skew. I'll make one little small one still there. And then I'm going to come and turn it around and work on the wax side. And I'm first going to cup the 2 or the 3 little small ones that I've made, and then come in and cup the bigger ones. And again, you work at a 90-degree angle and you just push it down. And then you have that little scallop effect that is there. You will need to come in again and just it will actually, I think now looking at this, I might just decide to come in right at the end and try and do a line of the small wheel right on the tippy end there, but I'll see. So I'm just going to continue this on with the scallop quick. Yeah, and looking at this, I do think I'm going to come in and I'm going to, let me see if I can do this on the Perspex. Yes. So I'm just coming in with the small dotted wheel, and right at that tippy edge, I'm just, and you can also do this with on a paper pad. I've just decided that I rather want to do it on the Perspex. It's a piece of Perspex that I have that I've marked wax, so whenever I work with wax, I know it goes onto the Perspex and it don't dirty my hard surface. And again, the same with this side. I'm just going to come in and see there where I work faster, I went off the line. Well, not really the line, but closer in. Just when you work slower, you have more control. There you go. So yeah, I think that looks not bad at all. That looks, my language is like, okay. So patina is next up, and I just want to clean this because as I was working with the wax, some of the wax got stuck on my finger, and because I was really at the bottom of the barrel, but I wanted to clean my wax container and start all fresh with new wax. So it was really like, I don't know what it was, but some of it transferred over to the front, And so I just want to clean that and quickly dry that. So with faux patina or blackening, it doesn't really matter. If it is there, it won't have, well, I don't want to say it won't matter. It doesn't have as big an influence, but when you work with real patina, it does have. The patina won't take where you have the wax. So as always, it's black or whichever color marker you use. You're going to color it in. You're going to come in and you're going to wipe everything in the same direction. Doesn't matter whether you go left or right left, up down, or up or down, as long as what you just stay consistent with your wiping. You this far and you look at that and you notice that you have everything going towards the one side, and that's one of the reasons why you have to do that or wipe in one direction, so that all the sort of the accumulative patina is on that side. But what you can do then, let's say you don't really like that, you can really just come in and take some of that away. But at least most of your streaks that is there will still be looking or running into the same side. So you can always come in and just sort of clean it up a little bit after you've done it in the one direction. Next up is I'm just going to add my Sookwang tape here. And oops, oh yeah, it will make it. And just line everything up here. Now, as usual, there's a couple of things that wasn't in the supply list. And this cutting board and the utility knife or craft knife wasn't in there. And now what you can do is you can just give it a quick polish, and this polish is also helping because now you actually adhere it to your Sookwang tape, which is going to give it that good adhesion or adhesion. I'm going to bring in, because I fasten, so basically this is going to be the back, and there's not really a front and a back, well, front and a back. There's not really an up and a down for this one because it's sort of all sides same side. And as it's going to go around, I'm going to keep the one side straight, and when I come to this, when it comes to joining them, I'm just going to cut it with my scissors. And I think I did mention in a different video that what happened was, well, not what happened, is I'm actually busy cleaning out my studio. So it's a real mess. You can hardly move in here at the moment. Let's just remove this. That might work better. You can hardly move in here at the moment because you first have to clean something before you can actually use it, or if you want to get to an open space you have to move so many things. But I'm trying to get workstations and reorganizing it, And then I came upon my stash of these little scissors, and they come in handy now. And I think you just didn't see what I was doing there. So I'm just slowly moving this around, because now remember it is a straight and it's filled with wax. And now we are moving on a round surface. So I would suggest keep some of your tape on and remove it slowly and work a piece in before you move on to the next section, and keep on removing it in smaller section until you get around to the joining part again. So we're still going to come in with our Teflontip tool, not our Teflontip tool, we can actually do it while we are doing this. No, I think I'm rather going to do it in the end. So just come in and smooth this down. This is always the thing that you have issues with when you are filling something with wax and you are working on a round surface. But as long as what you just work slowly and you keep on pushing it, most of the bumps and humps will be gone. Well, if that is what you call it. Oh, actually, you know what, if you do this, you pick up some of the lines of this. So, but that is just something that you have to know potentially, that you are definitely going, that you are going to struggle with, is when you adhere your band to a round surface. So, you know, think about that. When you look for this, you do get the square containers as well. And, or an oval container even. That can also work. And it's just, you know, how much time you would like to spend. I don't mind. I can sit forever and working things like this. Not that I have time to sit and work forever with things like this, but I just figure if something is worth your while, take the time. So I'm using this scallop one. And the one flower is going to sort of almost interchange with the next one. So it's not the best connecting spot that there is, but you know what? It works for me. And now we're just going to come in and we can really start pushing it down. You can actually use your a plastic stylus as well if you have one. Mine is always gone when I look for it. Let me just see where it is. Oh, there it is. Maybe I should mark it like a really bright color rather than this black, because it just keeps on disappearing. So this is something else that you can do. You can just come in with your plastic stylus, and the same as with any other corner, just make sure that you flatten it down and it is secure. So I'm going to go all around on both sides and do this, and then we will finish up our project. Hindsight, while I was flattening this or just securing it, I think I should have put some beeswax into the little dots as well, because I think that would have made it easier, because now I had to work really around it, not to press down, where if there was wax in the little bobbles or dots, it would have been an easier way to smooth over. And our soap dispenser is all done. I think it came out really nice, but as always, I like all the things that I make, well, 99.9% of them. So thank you for the inspiration. Now we are all going to get inspired with this. And, you know, even if you don't want to do a band around, you can do just a big S and do entangles on that, or an owl, and you know that is ideal for whether it's for yourself or as a gift. Just put the two on a nice tray. You can maybe put a pewter band around the tray if you don't even want to do that, just on a piece on a tray. But that would make a perfect gift for somebody that's renovating their bathroom, or if you're renovating your bathroom, or just as a thank you gift to everybody, or to anybody, to anybody. As always, thank you so much for spending time with me in the studio today. And always remember, the world of reality has its limits. The world of imagination is boundless.